And at this time, Alex Caprariello joins us live outside the Central Maine Medical Center in Lewiston with more on the victims of this attack. Alex, this is a mass casualty event. We know as many as 50 to 60 people are injured in this. What is happening at the hospital right now? I know you just sent our team a hospital update, but what are you seeing at this hour?
Yeah.
It looks like we don't have
Of
audio.
the three, and of course the closest we can get. This is the, you can see some of these law enforcement officers actually blocking the entrance to this emergency center. You'll also see armed police officers on guard carrying high-powered rifles here, making sure that this hospital stays safe. I just got off the phone just moments ago with a nurse supervisor who was here during these overnight hours getting the latest information on victim count. What this supervisor told me is that at least 17 people have been admitted to this hospital, at least one person transported to a level 1 trauma center elsewhere in Maine, and several people have been dispatched. So that's the good news. Progress being made. What he basically told me is that there was a flood of medical professionals, doctors and nurses who volunteered to come in when they heard this news come down, that this was a mass casualty event, and everyone came to this hospital to help out any way that they can. He said that the emergency room, when he first arrived last night, was chaos, not necessarily from the actual victims that were coming in, but from just how many medical professionals had overwhelmed this hospital ready to give up their time. So while certainly, while we expect the total victim count to increase, there's no doubt in my mind that the number of medical professionals that are here to help out will be able to step up to that task and help everyone out.
Alex, you know, in terms of this mood that we're facing here, anytime there's a mass casualty shooting, the town feels the energy of that. Have you encountered anyone who arrived at the hospital trying to find their loved one, locate their loved ones, or just in terms of your arrival there since last night, what's the energy like in the air? I remember at the Parkland school shooting in Florida, you could feel the tension, you could feel the grief just in the air.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Adrienne. I would say the entire town of Lewiston and to a greater point, much of Maine feels that sense of hurt right now deep into their hearts. To answer your question about trying to reunite with people here at the hospital, the answer there is a quick no. Right now, this hospital is on lockdown, which means there are no visitors allowed. That's why we're seeing these armed guards here standing outside. So even if someone was trying to reunite with a loved one that they know to be in this hospital, right now is not the time that they're going to be able to see them. There is a reunification center that has been set up at a nearby middle school, the Auburn Middle School, where people can reunite with their loved ones if they were maybe lost somewhere within this attack, but not here at the hospital. Back to your question about the tone, absolutely. You can feel that great sense of hurt here. Nurses who are actually walking into this building this morning to try to help out, they wear a very long face right now. Obviously, they know what they're about to go into, and perhaps the deep sorrow that they feel deep in their heart that something like this could happen in their town and what they're about to see inside their place of work. And I expect as the sun rises and we begin to talk to more and more people here, we begin to get better clarity on who these victims are, who their family members are, and we continue to talk to city council members and other public officials here. It's going to be the same refrain which we see at every single mass shooting, that this is a devastating attack that nobody expects to happen in their neighborhood. But of course, we also expect to hear about the type of community resilience that typically takes place when something like this happens, especially in small communities across America.
And Alex, I have one more follow-up question for you about the hospital, and you bring up small town communities. You know, Lewiston is the second largest city in Maine, but it's still a small community. I think it's population 38,000. What's your sense? I know you've been there, boots on the ground since last night. What's your sense of how large this hospital is? You have so much carnage. They're at, you know, a couple different scenes. I'm sure you have medical staff having to go out of that hospital to treat patients there. Also medical staff there to treat patients who are incoming. When you talk to that supervisor, you know, how large this hospital is, you know, how does that come into play? And do they have enough people, all hands on deck?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that's why they asked for that volunteer force of medical professionals to come in if they can, because they know that this hospital, frankly, has never seen an incident of this size and this nature. It's not a level 1 trauma center, which is why we saw at least one victim transported to a level 1 trauma center elsewhere in the state of Maine. Speaking to the point of just how prepared are you to have a mass casualty event, or perhaps a victim that is suffering from great, perhaps gunshot wounds or some other, trauma. And so really, I think what we're going to learn within these next few hours is just how efficiently this hospital worked. From a law enforcement perspective, it's very similar to what I was telling you about the hospital, people volunteering their time, because I've had the chance to speak to several police officers who are here on the ground and ask them, hey, what's this like for you in your town of Lewiston? And so many of them have told me, well, I'm not even from Lewiston. So many of these police officers, sheriff's deputies are coming from all around the state, all around New England. We know a lot of forces have come as far as Boston to come help out here. It's really, a code red in their eyes. They want to help out as much as possible. In fact, driving from Massachusetts to Lewiston, we saw police officers flying ahead of us with their lights on, because everyone knows that this is a very serious situation, and everyone wants to help out as best as they can.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.